blaspheme the Vedic scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. 6. To give some interpretations to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. Is to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success. Krishna Prema. Hare Krishna devotees, I welcome you all. And if you could kindly unmute yourself, announce your name, and give me the opportunity to welcome you all in this platform. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण नीना माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय. प्रीति दासी from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances, Mata. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call, Mataji. Please keep joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Das from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Arvindash Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining every day Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call, Prabhuji. Please keep joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashamati Priya Devi Dasi from Chicago, Elgin.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances, Mata. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call, Mataji. Please keep joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nina Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Raleigh. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji. My humble obeisances are children to sweet Mata. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call regularly, Mataji. You're such an inspiration. Thank you for your association, Mata. Please keep joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nina Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. This is Shama Guri Devi Dasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shamaguri Mataji. Thank you for your wonderful darshan, Mata. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for your kindness and support on Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call, Mataji. Welcome.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for your wonderful service.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the all respected devotees of Bhakti Sangha. And this is, I feel obliged to being a participant of Bhakti Sangha and feel very blessed, Mataji. Hare Krishna, this is Pooja Arora from Haridwar.
Mataji, Hare Bol. Please, it's such a wonderful association. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. You're such an inspiration. You're such a sincere devotee. You join here regularly. You ask such mindful questions, Mataji. Thank you for your association, Mata. And if you know any friends, family, spread the word. They can also benefit from this beautiful platform. It's globally available. Thank you for your association, Mataji. Welcome. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nina Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Sundarangi Radha Devi Dasi from India. Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Bol, Sundarangi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam Mata, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thanks for such a wonderful devotee you are, Mataji. Thank you for your kind association and for regularly joining from all the way around, adjusting your time. Very inspirational. Please keep joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nina Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vinitha Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances, Mata. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. All glories to your beautiful, wonderful, consistent service, month after month, year after year. Thank you for joining, Mataji. Welcome. Devotees, in a few minutes, we will be having association with His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj. And Maharaj is going to be the keynote speaker today. But before he joins, with your permission, we will go ahead and have a brief introduction for His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj. So here it is. His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj is a disciple of ISKCON founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and he's an initiating spiritual master within the ISKCON movement. Maharaj was born in New Jersey in 1947. Maharaj came in contact with the International Society of Krishna Consciousness in Denver, Colorado at the tender age of 24. In 1973, he began practicing Krishna consciousness in New York City, and shortly thereafter, he began serving in New Vrindavan Farm community in West Virginia. That same year, he received initiation from His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. In 1986, His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj accepted the sannyas order and began preaching in Cincinnati, Columbus, Ohio. In 1995, he began serving as the resident sannyasi in Chicago, where he was based until 2013, when he, after that, relocated to Karlovac in Croatia, that's in Europe. At present, Maharaj offers spiritual guidance around Europe, USA, and India. Maharaj has also written a book called Krishna's Way, Natural Living, about the importance of Varnashrama and spiritual ecology. That was a brief introduction for His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj. Maharaj hasn't yet joined, so devotees, feel free to unmute yourself and announce your name, and I will welcome you. Anybody else who would like?
Everybody. This is Balavan Nitai Das from the Detroit area. Hare Krishna, my humble obeisance.
Haribol, Prabhuji, my humble obeisances also to your lotus feet, Prabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you for joining Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Thank you for your association. Please keep joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Balavrinda.
Haribol, Balavrinda. Please accept my humble obeisances too. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thanks for your wonderful chanting every day. Please keep giving us your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nina Mataji, Dandava Pranam to you and all the devotees. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to Ashambali. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances, Mata. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for your wonderful association, Mataji. Please keep joining us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nina Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. With Dandava pranams to all the devotees on the call. This is Harita from Missouri City, Texas, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Haribol, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances, Mata. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you for your wonderful association, Mataji. Please keep joining us every day on Bhakti Sangha Japa Conference. Devotees, I see that His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj has already joined. Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all our Guru Maharajas. All glories to you, Maharaj. So, Maharaj, we are currently in Canto 8. We are also in Chapter 8. If you could kindly enlighten us on verse 39 and 40. Whenever you're ready, Maharaj, you can take the call over. Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Devotees, Maharaj will be back very soon. Just bear with us for a couple of minutes. Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Devasvam Bhagavan Arhanti Yetuya Yasahetavaha Shastrayaga Eva Tasmin Esa Dharma Sanatanaha Iti Swam Pratyase Davai Daityeya Jatamat Saraham Durbalam Prabalam Rajan Grihitam Kalasam Mukuhu. So we're in the middle of this, right at the end of the battle of the ocean of milk, trying to get the nectar. Now the demons have captured the nectar. Some of the demons said, all the demigods have taken part in the churning of the ocean of milk. Now, as everyone has an equal right to partake in any public sacrifice, according to the eternal religious system, it is befitting that the demigods now have a share of the nectar. O king, in this way, the weaker demons forbade the stronger demons to take the nectar. Purport, very short. Desiring to take the nectar, those among the demons who were less strong spoke in favor of the demigods. The weaker Daityas naturally pleaded on behalf of the demigods to stop the stronger Daityas from drinking the nectar without sharing it. In this way, disagreement and trouble arose as they forbade one another to drink the nectar. Gyan Timirandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Chaksunnavitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mayam Dadati Swam Padantikam Bandeham Shiguro Shiyuta Padikamalam Shigurun Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Vraganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Viksamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishvanusuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpa Darubhascha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Titanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Navasesa Sunyavadi Pastyatya Dev. So there are three modes, the material nature, which make up the entire energy of the material energy, the mode of ignorance, the mode of passion, and the mode of goodness. Each of these modes are characterized by certain qualities. Those in the mode of ignorance are vicious, destructive, mad, intoxicated, always inclined to wrong activities, and take pleasure in sleep and intoxication. And they're also very dangerous to themselves and others. Those in the mode of passion, they're characterized as demons, and they're always causing others trouble. They are honeycombed with greed and lust, and they always work to satisfy their own senses. And although they act in groups, they also fight amongst each other. The mode of goodness is characterized by the qualities of the devas, which are the qualities of the Brahmins also, which is peacefulness, tranquility, simplicity, austerity, truthfulness, cleanliness, well-versed in religious scriptures, able to teach others religious scriptures. They're also very simple. So here we're talking about the demons. They're in the mode of passion and ignorance, but mostly passion, because ignorance is characterized by viciousness, and which is characterized by certain persons who are in the quality of laziness, sleep, and self-destruction. They're personified by certain lower class beings such as yakshas and rakshasas. This is mentioned in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The demons are intelligent. They're very crafty. They know how to manipulate material energy, and they spend much time creating different things to destroy the world and also to destroy other individuals. Here we're seeing that the demons apparently had grabbed the nectar, and that was explained in the previous verses. Now they all wanted to enjoy the nectar, but the stronger demons pushed out the weaker demons. But the weaker demons didn't simply acquiesce to that, so they made some excuse saying everyone should get a share, and they pointed to the demigods. They have no regard for the demigods, but in order to stop the more powerful demons for taking all the nectar, they spoke like that. So as it says here, trouble and disagreement arose. So you see, Srila Prabhupada talks about this quite often in his lectures, especially the lectures in the 1st canto of Bhagavatam and in the 7th canto of Bhagavatam. He speaks a lot about the demoniac class of men. Now, these demons are actually, they have their own planets. They're not someone that is homegrown. They're actually born with these characteristics and qualities. And they live on planets outside of the Earth planet, which are just below the Earth. And there's different categories of demons also. There's a whole long list of different names by which the demons are described. And many of them take birth on Earth in different families, just like it says that in Satya Yuga, the demons and the demigods were on different planets. In Treta Yuga, they were in different continents. On Dwapara Yuga, they were in different families. And on Kali Yuga, they're in different bodies. So you might say, and sometimes the same quality is there where a person who, just like we see, which is quite rare, Prahlad Maharaj was born in a family of Daityas, but he was a deva. He was a godly person. Actually, he was a pure devotee of the Lord. And that goes back to Treta Yuga. And so, but Prabhupada said now, in Kali Yuga, the demons will increase in numbers. And as the planet decreases in its karmic collection, as the planet becomes more and more sinful, that changes the karma of the planet, and lower beings take birth in these middle planets. When, as it says, when in the Bhagavatam, in the 7th canto, 1st chapter, verse number 8, it says, when the mode of goodness is prominent, the demigods are in control. When the mode of passion is prominent, the demons are in control. And when the mode of ignorance is prominent, the yakshas and rakshasas, very fierce types of lower living entities who eat human beings. This the mode of ignorance is prominent. So nowadays, if we take a little bit of reflection, we don't have to do much. We can see the world is full of sinful activities. People reject God and simply chase after sense gratification in the form of accumulating more and more material things, money, power, position, and various types of material things in order to somehow find happiness within the material energy. And they become very vicious at times, and they consider other living entities their enemies. So Prabhupada talks about this a lot in his lectures, and he said the demons are increasing, and in Kali Yuga they will continue to increase. Prabhupada also said, we have no fear, who's talking to the devotees, we have no fear of Maya, because Maya, the personification of the illusionary energy, is our friend. She works to help the devotee become more Krishna conscious by trying to attract the devotee away from Krishna, which will help the devotee become strong by rejecting Maya and taking shelter of Krishna and becoming more dedicated in devotional service. The Prabhupada said, Maya is our friend, but he said, because there are so many demons in the world today, Maya has to serve the demons, and therefore there are so many problems. So all of the problems in the world today are not caused by some mismanagement, it's caused by the demons. And they're becoming more confused. And Prabhupada went on to say, but don't worry. He says, they'll give you some disturbances, they'll give you some trouble, but Krishna will protect you if you take shelter of Krishna's incarnation in this age, which is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. In this age, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the powerful force to push back all the effects of the illusionary energy and all of the plans of the demons. So there is one verse, Kalir Doshan Nidhi Rajan Asti Eho Mahagun Kirtana Eva Krishnasya Mukta Sangam Param, that Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, not just many, but unlimited faults. We could spend hours just talking about all the difficulties, problems, faults, calamities that go on in the world today. So it appears to be almost unlimited. But as the verse goes on to explain, Asti Eko Mahagun, there's one benediction coming from the Supreme Lord himself, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who personally delivered this benediction as he appeared on earth to inaugurate his movement to purify the world, the Harinam Sankirtan movement. So the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, especially Kirtan, along with japa, of course, can push back the effects of Kali Yuga and protect one from the onslaught of all of the plans of the demons. And Prabhupada gives examples how Devaki was harassed by her brother Kamsa, so much so he wanted to kill her, but then he was killing her children. Still, Krishna protected her, and in the end, Krishna killed Kamsa, and Devaki and Vasudeva were free. And then Prabhupada went on to give another example of Prahlad Maharaj, who was also harassed by his father in so many ways, but he couldn't even touch a hair on the head of Prahlad, because Prahlad was fully absorbed in chanting the glories of the Lord and remembering the Lord with loving devotion. So you're wondering why there's so many problems in the world today, because of the demons. They take positions in different places within the society. They become politicians, they become medical advisors, they become scientists, they get into the entertainment industry. They're in different places in order to propagate their selfish programs to exploit material energy and to harass the population. So this is Kali Yuga. The Lord Chaitanya is here. There's no worry, because the demons ultimately can't do anything when Lord Chaitanya is personally present. So we have to bring Lord Chaitanya into our minds and our hearts through the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And it becomes incumbent upon the devotees to understand that because there is an increase of calamities in the world, and this will only spiral more and more, but a lot of these calamities are simply meant to purify the world by removing the sinful population of the world who are dedicated to the lower modes of material energy as the source of their activities. But devotees just take shelter and chant the holy names of the Lord. The problem with devotees is that we are too much connected to the material energy in terms of our lifestyle. We depend on the demoniac society for the things we need to live. And that is somewhat precarious and also very dangerous. We were discussing it today that, even the food you eat is so polluted with so many pesticides and herbicides and various things. And then you have so many other forms of pollution coming in certain different ways. And then therefore, the devotees are also victimized because we are so somewhat connected to that same material energy. But one has to remove themselves from that dependency. And that was Srila Prabhupada's vision for ISKCON, which he so strongly propagated before he left. He said, these cities will collapse, they will not last. And ultimately, we have to build our farms. And he said, on the farms, we can manage our work nicely. We can live off the land. We can have cows to take care of all of our basic needs. We can have agriculture, of course. And in other words, we can build a self-sufficient lifestyle just by living off the land. But devotees are slow. They're very much attached to the cities and all of the amenities that come by way of that. And therefore, we find ourselves struggling to maintain the basic things in life, such as food. Food is so polluted nowadays. There's so many reports that people are getting sick just from eating. It's contaminated with so many pesticides, herbicides, various types of chemicals, preservatives, and other forms of altering the land in order to produce food at a faster rate. So if we do a little research, we don't have to do much. We find that our livelihood is being threatened by the present materialistic society that we live in, especially for those who live in big cities or even in areas where there is a lot of what we say industry and technology. So Prabhupada's view of the world, along with the solution, which he has continuously penned in the form of his statements and his books, his lectures, go back to the land, develop Varnashram, live according to the way Krishna lived. This is natural, and not only is it natural, it's a healthy lifestyle. Devotees have trouble with the transition stage, going from where they are to that area, but it can be done with proper planning. And you'll see, and I'm not a doomsday prophet, but you'll see, and more as Western civilization becomes more and more, what we say, polluted and dangerous, you'll see that it'll become harder and harder just to maintain an ordinary lifestyle with so many taxes, so much pollution, so much crime, so much conflict between nations. This is Kali Yuga. This is the age of Kali. And this is the winter of all ages. It's the most difficult of all ages. And Kali has a plan to increase his domain more and more. But Lord Chaitanya came at that right time to bring about a revolution at the same time that Kali is making his plans to spread his poison everywhere. And that revolution is the Harinam Sankirtan movement, building temples, inviting people to chant the holy names, come and worship the deities, and growing our own food. We don't have to be dependent on factory food or polluted food from the outside. This is a very, what we say, in-depth discussion about how people are getting sick simply by eating nowadays. So anyway, not to create too much of a disturbance in the minds of the devotees, but we have to become serious if we're looking to the future to establish both our lifestyle and our children who are growing up in this society. Therefore, Prabhupada wanted our own schools to educate children, and also in the basic principles that are given in general schools, but along with that, teach them the goal of life, how to worship the Lord, how to understand higher knowledge through reading scriptures and practically applying scripture knowledge according to the spiritual master's direction. So we have to work a little bit to create this lifestyle. It's already being done by many devotees in certain places of the world. but it's only a small drop in the big bucket of the devotees worldwide. So think about it. Otherwise, we're subjected to this demoniac influence, and there's nothing else we can do about it because we either have to acquiesce to their programs in order to get the basic needs we live, or we have to get out of that, and that is what we say, the enthusiastic vision of Srila Prabhupada. He said, back to the farms. And not just in the primitive way, but in a way where you can become self-sufficient. That's the most important thing. Self-sufficient means depending on Krishna, depending on the land, and using the land, which is Krishna's energy, to develop our livelihood and to create so many of the things that we need in the world within the environment of our area of living. Just like one of the biggest problems in today's world is people have to travel so much just to go to work, which is time, energy, money, and pollution is there also. It's one of the biggest problems is that people have to travel so much just to make a living, where everything can be done on the local level. It just takes some time, planning, and some determination and activity. Okay, otherwise, you can't stop the demons. They're here. And they're going to continue to grow, but we can push back their influence by the Sankirtan movement. As Srila Prabhupada emphatically says, we have two very powerful forms of devotional service. He said farm communities and book distribution. These two things. Book distribution also means reading the books, understanding the books, hearing from those who know the books to help us understand how to apply the knowledge in the books to transform our consciousness towards Krishna. Okay, these are some things we might think about.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much for this enlightened class. And it's always so wonderful to see you. Many pranams again at your holy feet. As you wonderfully said, if we could all have a farm community, that would be great. Wish we can have more and more manors across the world. And we have to be so conscious about our thoughts, about our consciousness, moment to moment, to make sure that the demon that is already there doesn't capture our mind and our thoughts. So we got to push it away. It's a 100% striving every second, every moment. Thank you so much for your enlightening class, Maharaj. Devotees, we're going to open the panel for discussion. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate either to raise your hand or put it in the comment section. I can read your questions if you're not able to unmute yourself, whatever is best for you.
Maybe we could have more devotees turn on the cameras.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna Maharaj. Thank you so much for the beautiful class, Maharaj. Very grateful to you. I have a question related to the same pastime, but not from today's class. Can I ask, Maharaj?
Where are you? I can't see you anywhere.
Oh, okay. I will switch on my video, Maharaj. Yes. I am here, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. So yesterday in children's class, we are doing the same pastime, Maharaj. So one kid was asking, the Mataji, the teacher was explaining about how Garuda comes and puts the Mandara mountain in the place of churning ocean. And then Lord Vishnu says to Garuda to go back because he eats the snakes. So the kid was asking, if Garuda is a devotee of Lord, why it eats a snake? It's supposed to not eat snake. It should become vegetarian and not eat like that. Why is it Garuda eating like that? So teacher asked me to ask you, Maharaj. So that's why I'm asking you.
Yes, that questions came up before. The root is an evil.
Yeah, it's supposed to eat the snake.
He has his food. Trying to make the tigers vegetarian also. They have their food arranged by God. He's the carrier of Lord Vishnu. He's Vishnu Shakti. If you eat snakes, you'll die. If he eats snakes, doesn't affect him. Actually, it says that Garuda is the enemy of the snakes also. The snake is a type of creature that without provocation, it causes harm to others.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Snakes and scorpions are the lowest of the lower animals, where they bite and harass others for no reason. I guess you might say mosquitoes are also like that. Those of you who are in India right now, maybe you can understand.
Yes, Maharaj. I've been in India, so I understand.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj.
We have a question from Vrishabhanu.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept our Dandvat Pranams and humble obeisances. All glories to you, Guru Maharaj, and the devotees and Srila Prabhupada. My question relates to today's subject of demons amongst us who are creating havoc. They are disguised in different forms, so it's difficult to recognize them because they don't have any signs or horns like the demons used to have in the past. There is so much conflict in the world, and wars and countries being attacked for a reason. Sometimes to focus on sadhana, I've avoided watching news and taking any interest in what's going on. So on one hand, I remain kind of not in informed state. On the other hand, it's polluting mind. So just to keep in touch, my question is, should one at least watch news for sake of what's going on, other than getting sides or feeling that this is right, this is wrong?
No, it's a waste of time, because actually what you hear on the news is mostly fiction anyway, because they want you to believe something, so they adjust the news in such a way as to put forth certain ideas and certain things. The news is controlled by the demons also. I have a statement by a retired journalist who worked 50 years in the service of the New York Times. And on his resignation speech, when he resigned, he really said that we all know it, we're all prostitutes. we can't write. We can't write what we want to write. We have to follow what is given to us. Otherwise, there's no job. They'll throw you out. So I have that text, his speech. I have it in the form of a written text. So it goes on. This was years and years ago, back in the 1960s. So yeah, everything is doctored up like that. So if you want to learn about what's going on in the world, just read Prabhupada's books. Because Prabhupada explains it in a very philosophical and practical way. And when he speaks about the different conflicts between the demons and the demigods, he also mentions many of the things that are presently happening, at least during his time, which are now only proliferating due to the advancement of the age of Kali. So it's a waste of time to watch the news. I mean, I get some news updates from other sources that are not aligned with mainstream. And these are mostly about what's going on in the world in terms of how people are getting sick from eating and how corporations are cheating people to take various types of medical cures that are causing them more. In other words, from doctors who have broken from the system and now are speaking out against the system. And I get things from these people also. But I don't get too much into the day-to-day news. In fact, I never turn on the day-to-day news. It's just a waste of time. And most of it's not even true anyway. You read Prabhupada's books, you find out a lot. You can understand the principles by which Prabhupada's teaching the same thing.
I understand, Guru Maharaj, and I think for the fact that I'm not paying attention to news is confirmed by you, and it's a waste of time for me.
It's not news, it's misnews. It's not real news.
I think you have answered. Thank you. And spend time on reading Prabhupada's and your books. Hare Krishna.
What goes on in the world and what they want you to hear is two different things. They'll pick certain stories just to present that as what's going on, but behind the scenes there's a whole another series of events that are going on that never make the news because they don't want you to hear this stuff. All the news is filtered, edited. So why waste time with that?
Very true.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for your wonderful answer. And again, bring us the attention to the right track. Manjari Leela Mataji, you have a question for His Holiness?
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for allowing me to ask the question. Hare Krishna. Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, thank you so much for your wonderful association and your wonderful lecture. I just wanted to ask, there's two questions, but they're related to each other. So one is, you mentioned that nowadays, even our cooking, when we cook, right? And there's just the food is contaminated by so many chemicals and all the herbicides and pesticides and everything. So when we're offering this food, bhoga, to the Lord, what should our attitude be like? And second question is, I'm from Naperville, like it's a sub-town in Chicago. So we don't have, weather that can be conducive to farming all the year around. So how should we grow? I mean, at least in summer we can grow some food in like backyard, but then in winter we cannot. So how should we how can we like prevent, or lessen this kind of
Yeah, there are devotees who have their own gardens, either in their backyard, or I know one devotee, he rents a plot of land away from his home, along with other people, and they rent this land and they grow their own food there. There's many opportunities that you can take advantage of, but I'm talking about more or less the devotees as a yatra get together and get a piece of land, and not only just worry about or concern yourself about food, but develop that lifestyle that is conducive to Krishna consciousness. Living close to land, taking care of cows, building your own buildings, learning herbs so you can use it for making medicines. You don't need doctors anymore. The doctor is nature itself. Nature is the supreme doctor. You know how to use herbs, you can cure anything, and you can also prevent diseases from coming. So people live like, you have to understand one thing, and devotees are somewhat, this way we're living now is an anachronism. It's only been like this for 350 years. People didn't live like this before. They lived close to nature. They grew their own food. They lived in communities. So yeah, living in community. We live in these boxes called houses, or in some apartment like that. And we work so hard to get some money. And the money, you never know, can run out any time. As soon as the government decides, either it folds or it has an economic decline, the money's not worth anything or very little. So we're living, in a situation where there's a dependence on something that is not dependable. And it's a compromise thing. So what I'm saying is what Srila Prabhupada has been saying since the first day he got here. It's not like Prabhupada. He emphasized it from 74 onward for those last 4 years, 74, 75, 76, and 77. That's where he emphasized moving back to the land. But he was talking about it from when he first began his Krishna consciousness movement back in the late 60s. So, yeah. And he also wrote about it before he came to America in one particular article, which was not only an article, it's more like a book. It's called the Gita Nagari Concept, where he outlined his whole movement. And one part of the movement was back to the land.
Thank you, Maharaj.
I mean, that's, once you establish that, that's healthy life. But it takes a while to establish it, making the transition state. And one family can't do it. You have to do it in a number of families together and do it as a team. And then you have divisions of labor. And you put a little temple wherever on your land, and you have your own little temple there. You worship together. You take care of your kids together. You can have all of your medical needs right in your own area. Everything. We don't need to be dependent on this secular society. One thing about America is there is much land out there that can be used. Another thing about America, they allow you to do your own thing. Other countries are more restrictive in terms of allowing you to become independent of the system. If you're living in America, you have a lot of opportunities to do things. But it takes a plan. takes leadership, takes vision, and obviously it takes time. But in the meantime, it's devotional service. For instance, when you plant the seed in the ground and you harvest the seed, you grow it, ultimately you grow it, and then you cultivate the plant and you harvest it, and then you take it into the kitchen and you cut it up, and then you cook it, and then you offer it, and then you take it as prasadam. So from the very beginning, from the planting of the seed into the earth, it's bhakti. Bhakti starts with the seed planting of the seed, because everything is done by devotees. Whereas when you buy stuff in the store, first of all, you don't know what you're getting, and at the second time, the only part of the activity is the cooking and the offering. Then that's bhakti. Before then, it's handled by the non-devotees. So, there are many benefits. You can read my book. I wrote a book based on this. I put together a book. It's called Krishna's Ways, Natural Living. It's available. It's a small book. It's about 100 pages, mostly quoting Srila Prabhupada and also giving practical advice on how to move into that type of lifestyle and showing the benefits of that lifestyle. So back to your question, yeah, there are devotees who are living where they are now, and they have little gardens where they grow their own vegetables and like that. It's a small step in the right direction.
Thank you. Thank you for that. As you said, it's definitely a lot of planning has to take place before we can have the community have this. But meanwhile, when we're offering then the bhoga to the Lord after cooking, of course, buying from the store at that time, what should be our attitude to when we're offering, knowing that it's contaminated with pesticides or
Just pray to Krishna to accept it. We have to go through the process in order to, to eat. So we accept it. We offer it to Krishna. Krishna purifies it to some degree, obviously.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. But we don't have to wait for anybody to give us any kind of, organization. Some sincere devotees get together, families, they can do it.
Yes. Thank you
much, Mataji, for the wonderful question. Thank you,
At least
Maharaj.
they can begin to do it anyway.
Sorry, Maharaj, what did you say?
At least we can begin to do it.
Yes.
The transition stage, it takes years for it to establish, but the journey begins with the first step.
And also, Maharaj, here in America, to Mataji's point, when we plant a lot of seeds outside and there are lot of vegetables, there are so many bunnies that would come and eat it away. And all the also, yes, we have to work together collectively in a community. That would be good. We have the next question from Bhagwan Chaitanya Prabhuji.
Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Vaishnavas everywhere. Guru Maharaj, when I'm in distress, I don't want to say we. When I'm in distress, it's easy to remember Krishna. I also immediately ask for relief. I'm getting, all these physical problems, whatever. Is this a good idea to ask for distress relief in any form, Maharaj, or should we avoid that?
Generally, a devotee will avoid asking Krishna for anything when they're distressed, but they'll take shelter of Krishna and chant the holy names of the Lord and beg Krishna for his shelter. They don't ask him to do anything.
Correct.
to ask Krishna to become your servant is not the principle of devotion. But Krishna likes to protect his devotees, so when the devotee gets into situations like that, it becomes natural to take shelter of Krishna. Taking shelter means remembering Krishna, chanting his holy name, and sometimes thanking him for a little distress.
um, Guru Maharaj, like I think like 5 or 6 classes ago, you mentioned something that I wanted to follow up on. You said just remembering Krishna means just remembering him, because this is a very important point. Because when I think of instruction of remember Krishna, I'm thinking about great like full attention, Shashtang Namaskar, and oh my God, Krishna. You said just think of Krishna, just think of Krishna. Think of a baby Krishna, think of any Krishna.
Well, there's different. The mind can think of something, but mind can get absorbed in something also. So there's different levels of thought. It's also explained. There's 5 categories of remembrances, and they're listed, the different names, all the way up to samadhi, which is full absorption. There's meditation. There's intense absorption, various levels like that. The more the emotional nature connects your thoughts to an object, the greater that absorption is. Emotion enhances our thought process, and when it's directed towards Krishna, it becomes, what we say, full. But if we just casually think of Krishna, that's nice. But casually means when you casually think of Krishna, then you'll casually forget him also. Anything casual doesn't have much force to it. But practice.
Practice, yes.
Yeah, and it starts with our sadhana.
Sadhana.
Our sadhana will set the foundation for our remembrance of Krishna throughout the day.
Awesome. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hari Hari. You got to put that A after the G there, remember.
ABCD, Maharaj? What are you talking?
Bhagavan.
Oh, okay. I'm still okay. I will do that, Maharaj. Yeah.
Bhagwan. Yeah, I mean, Bhagwan, yeah, that's very Indian.
Yeah.
Indian, Bhagwan.
Bhagwan. I will add the A. Maharaj. Yeah, I almost became ABCD, but then we couldn't stay there. Yeah.
I wouldn't call you ABCD. No. You know what? Maybe people online don't know what ABCD is. Can you tell them?
Oh yeah. So it is. It's a term that is American born confused Desi. I'm not American born. I am American though, but it applies to even people away from the diaspora that is away from India. It applies to all of them. So yes. And the reference here is BCD, my name, Bhagwan Chaitanya Das. Yeah.
So, no, I'm not going to say anything else.
That's nice. Maharaj pays so much attention to detail. Maharaj, you have one more question from Mayur Prabhu?
Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and thank you, Master Chief, for letting me ask this question. Maharaj, it's something that you mentioned at the end of the class. It was about the Varnashram system. But what in today's world, especially, what's the reason why sometimes those who have an innate nature of being a Shudra are in a position of being, a Kshatriya or in a Brahminical position. Why is there such a discord between what our natures are and where we actually are in the material world?
Well, those natures are created by Krishna. Krishna says, Chaturvarnya Mayasrishna Guna Karma Vibhagasaha. He created the four varnas. And so innately, every living entity who is in the human form, civilized human form of life, are somewhat categories according to one of those four varnas. But in Kali Yuga, it says Kalo Sudra Sambhavan, because there's no more following of the, what is it called, samskaras, which are the purificatory rites. No one can be designated according to birth. Everyone has to be designated according to qualification. So in order to develop qualifications, there's a system of education for training in order to bring out one's innate characteristic according to their different inborn swadharma. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that Prabhupada talked about that. Therefore, he said, establish these Varnashram colleges and have the Brahmins teach the different Varnas with the principle of evaluation based on the teaching. Once the evaluation is given, then designation is understood. So then, yeah, so you have the different Brahma, Kshatriya, Vaishya. Sudras don't need training. So yeah, but in ISKCON, it's Daivi Varnashram. It's the idea, Prabhupada's idea, is to work according to your swadharma, but to engage it in devotional service. That is what is called Daivi Varnashram, spiritual Varnashram, not material Varnashram. Yeah. And that's something, again, that Prabhupada spoke strongly about before he left and says, this is what we need to do in order to spread Krishna consciousness around the world. We have to establish this Daivi Varnashram, which includes the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, of course. So, yeah, so it's being done in some places, but mostly it's hardly being done. Anyway, that's the program of development. So when you work according to your nature, or you serve according to your nature, then you can be very creative, very expert at doing your service because it's more natural. So there are people who are inclined to Brahminical work. There's people who are inclined to administrative work. There's people who are inclined to working with agriculture, animals, banking, commerce, that type of activity. They're called the Vaishyas. So yeah, you'll see. But in today's world, everything's upside down because the motivation, at least in the material world, is not to work according to your varna, but to work according to how much money you can make. So money becomes the motivation, not so much your personal inclination. There's a nice book if you want to read it. It's quite lengthy. It's called Career Dharma. It's available. It's by Urmila Devi and her friend Rukmini. Two ladies put together this book. It's quite good, but it's lengthy. It's about 500 or 600 pages. It takes it in detail. But then you can hear from Srila Prabhupada as he speaks the basic principles of Varnashram in his lectures. You can, if you listen to Prabhupada, you'll find that practically every lecture, almost every lecture, he mentions Varnashram. That's how important it is.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maharaj. We have a question on the chat, Maharaj. I'm going to read it to you. It's from Vrishma Prabhu. It says, Hare Krishna, Jai Gurudev and Vaishnavas. I cannot relate how devotees are feeling comfortable being harassed by the demoniac system of life, and still we are not proactive of Srila Prabhupada's recommendation. It seems only that few individuals are acting, mostly not. Few individuals are acting and mostly are not acting. That's what he meant to say. And still, when some preach or leader comes to make them aware, still nothing happens.
Yeah, what you say is correct, but we keep speaking in order to try to do some conscious raising. But what will happen is, as society starts to fall apart, we'll be scrambling in order to maintain ourselves, and then it'll be practically difficult to do what we should have did when things were more easier done. When things fall out, then devotees start waking up. We shouldn't wait for that, though. The fallout's already coming in the form of the pollution of the environment, which is really bad, really bad. So yeah, we're slow to do things because we think, well, I'm carrying on, I'm going on, so let me continue to go on. Why make any? But to understand the present, to study the past, then you can understand how to move into the future. But we think everything will be the way it is. It's not going to be the way it is. Things are changing constantly, and they're not getting any better. That's the point. Material energy doesn't stand still. It's either getting worse in terms of harassment or difficulties that it's imposing on the conditioned soul, or it gets a little bit better, but it doesn't stay in one place. But as Prabhupada said, and he had emphasized it, he said, things will collapse. He said, the system that we live on is based on money. It's not based on spiritual or even family, aesthetic, or moral values. It's based on money. And money, he said, is not a foundation for a civilization. Money, you can do things. Money, you can cover your mistakes. Money is a cheating form of lifestyle. That's all it is. But then again, the money's running out anyway. So, in my book, Krishna's Way, Natural Living, there's a QR code towards the end of the book. If you get the book, scan that QR code, and then with your phone, and then you can hear Srila Prabhupada speaking. And he talks about what I'm speaking about. So I did 2 printings on this book of what was it, 2,000 copies each time, and I've sold out within 3 years. I've sold out more than 4,000 copies of the book, and I don't even push the book. Only when I go to different venues, such as programs or festivals, do I bring the book. The people can get a copy if they want. It's available and through certain devotees in the U.S. and also through certain devotees in the UK. Then I'll give you a little insight of what a more natural lifestyle is and how it can you can start moving in that direction. We have to take it up. We can't wait for somebody else to do it. You have to do it yourself. Prabhupada said every city temple should have a farm community attached to it. And he said, we grow our food on the farms, we get our milk products on the farms, we take it and we maintain the temples with these things, and we open restaurants in the cities, and people can come and get nice first class prashadam.
Yes, that will be wonderful. We are
Yeah.
planning to do that in
We don't
neighborhoods.
listen. The thing is, we don't listen to Prabhupada. Therefore, we don't. When somebody speaks about this, it sounds too revolutionary. Prabhupada's been talking about it ever since when he first came, for those 10, 12 years he was with us. Because Prabhupada wasn't just an ordinary spiritualist. He had vision. He could see past, present, and future. And a lot of things that he predicted actually manifested. But it's easy to see this, especially when the way things are going in today's world now. And when things get so bad and people can't manage anymore, they create a war. And then there's a major war, and then all energy is diverted to war industry. And then the economy in certain countries starts to blossom again. War is good business for a certain select class of people. Yeah, it is. But it's all done by the demons. Devotees don't want war. Devotees want peace. They want people to accept the process of self-realization and to live a very peaceful life. But even if you want to, people won't let you. That's just the way it is today.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Maharaj, one question that comes to my mind. You're saying that the demons, they manipulate the material energy. Now, the demons, they manipulate the material energy. Now,
they're expert at that.
But material energy is so much stronger.
Yeah, but they can, I mean, everybody has the ability to manipulate material energy. When you want to build your family, you're manipulating things to make it work according to what you want to happen. But the demons, they know how to do it. They're expert. Prabhupada said they call them duskritina, very intelligent, but in a mischievous way. There's sukritina, good intelligence that works for the benefit of oneself and others. And duskritina is for those who cause harm by their intelligence. The demons are very, very intelligent, extremely intelligent, at least from the material perspective. That's why you can't even see some of the things they're doing, because they know how to hide. They can show you what they're doing, but you'll never figure out who's doing it.
You're right. There's another. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for sharing such wonderful reflections and also giving such practical ways where we can actually protect ourselves and actually put the thoughts into action.
In your local area, they always get together and just start discussing this and see how you can extricate yourself from being dependent on the secular society for all your needs. Start with brainstorming, discussion. Get people interested. That's the first step. You can't do anything unless people are interested in doing something. When you have a belief, then that belief can spread, and that will motivate others to do the same. And people have an interest. Devotees, anyway. Somehow we're going on, but it's becoming more and more difficult. And there's another thing that's going on that's really bad. I don't want to get into another area, but that's these EMF, the electromagnetic frequencies. That's everywhere now in the form of, the internet, towers, individual boxes in houses, everywhere. That's causing people headaches, sleepless nights, physical problems. There's one whole group of people who are living near one tower in one country, and they all were getting sick. Everybody in that one apartment building, they were right near this EMF tower, big tower. So they asked the government to remove the tower. The government, they finally they took it to court, and they lost in court. So most of the people just moved out of their homes because they were getting sick by this EMF. This is really another dangerous thing. We live so close to these things. Slowly. And cancer is spreading like crazy.
Yeah.
Like crazy. Where do you think it's coming from? Both the food, the anxiety and stress that people are undergoing in order to live today, and a lot of it is due to EMF also. It's a fact. We don't know how much we're being destroyed by our present Western civilization. Technology, because the motivation is money, not people with money. Okay, I can go on all night, but you don't want to hear too much of this.
Maharaj, maybe if you have some time, we have one or two last minute questions. I have Balavan Nitai Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and the assembled devotees, and to Jai Shri Nityananda. Wow, I'm sorry, I hesitated raising my hand because the conversation sort of moved on, but the Leela, or the verse today, of course, I don't know anything about the 8th canto. That's way ahead in terms of my reading and study. And so the demons churning the milk ocean, it sounds so beautiful, so trippy. But I'm more interested in demons, Yavanas, not just people, but spiritual entities. We can liberate them, yes? And is that something we should do?
You mean the unembodied living entities?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, they're all around. Sometimes they come in your dreams at night. If you eat food cooked by non-devotees, you pick up that energy and they appear in your dreams also. Because non-devotees, most of them carry other beings within them, especially people who take to intoxication or illicit sex. Yeah. So yeah, your protection is the chanting of the holy name and your practice of Krishna consciousness. Krishna protects you from this stuff. But still, if you go into that area, you're going to be affected to some degree.
Yeah, so as a follow-up, that was what I was going to, or, what made me think. It is chanting. If they hear us chanting these disembodied thing,
Yeah.
personages. We can't help them. Yes.
Well, there's different kinds of beings. There's more saintly beings who are disembodied. Just like there's a variety of types of people, there's also the varieties of types of consciousness within these spirits, because they don't have a physical body, but they have a subtle body. That means they have a mind, they have intelligence, and a sense of identity on the subtle platform. So they're in the atmosphere, they're around like that. The more sinful people are, the more these beings come and harass them. Even devotees sometimes get harassed by these beings. But if you chant, it keeps them away. Or if they're saintly or somewhat pious spirit, they'll benefit. You can't tell because there's varieties of these different spirits. The consciousness is from one end to the other. Some of them are what we say harmless, and others are vicious, The ones that are vicious, they won't, you can keep them away by chanting, but at the same time, you can't purify them by chanting because they'll run away from the chanting. Chanting just creates so much horrible experience in their consciousness that they just run from that. One time we were doing Sankirtan in one place in America. It was in New Orleans during the Mardi Gras time. We were in the, what is it called, that place? Anyway, it's a place where people go for intoxication, all kinds of bars, and the French Quarter, they call it. The French Quarter. So we were there doing Harinam in the French Quarter. And we were doing it, we were going around the block, circumambulating, going to past the same place. And every time we would pass this one place, one lady, she would come out and scream at the top of her lungs, "Stop! Stop!" she's hearing the holy name, and it's causing her, she's like dying from hearing that sound vibration. So there are people who are so, what we say, demoniac in consciousness, that when they hear that, they get so distressed. They run from it or they try to stop it, either one. Yeah, so yeah, but just keep chanting, and you'll purify the atmosphere by your chanting, and you'll purify the lower living entities such as the bugs and who are all around us. You'll purify yourself. You purify. Chanting is we see beneficial for everyone. Okay, Nina, there's a particular verse. I wish you could. I wonder if you could go to that verse just to illustrate one point that I made. It's on the 7th canto, 1st chapter of the 7th canto, verse number 8. It's an interesting verse. I found it very interesting. 718. It requires a little explanation too, but we can get to that.
I need to share the screen, Ajahn. I probably in the here. Are you able to see or no?
It's hard to move out of where you are.
Yeah, probably Indulekha Mataji has left, so I'm trying to share my window.
7th canto, 1st chapter, verse number 8. I'll bring up the translation.
Can you scroll down, Mataji?
I'm trying. For some reason, it's
Hi Krishna Mataji, do you want me to share?
yeah. Mataji, if you don't
Yes,
mind.
Mataji.
Please,
I'm sorry, Mataji, the just morning rush, that was it.
Yeah.
I'll share now.
Why is it not sharing?
We can see your screen, Mataji.
No,
It's just
Mataji,
that
you
you
have
didn't
to
go
say
down.
that show in advanced view. Maybe only screen that sloka was view for your Veda base. You need to select all of those
There it
sloka
is.
and the purport.
There it is. Somebody read.
The translation, Maharaj?
The goodness of goodness is prominent. The sages and demigods flourish with the help of that quality, with which they are infused and surcharged by the Supreme Lord. Similarly, when the mode of passion is prominent, the demons flourish. And when ignorance is prominent, the yakshas and rakshasas flourish. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is present in everyone's heart, fostering the reactions of Sattva Gun, Rajagun, and Tamagun.
So Krishna puts the three modes of material energy in place, and according to people's activities, they plug into a different mode in their activities, and they get a particular result. So on a broad scale, when people are pious, then the demigods are in control, and the mode of goodness is prominent. When people are sinful, then the demons are in control, and when people are actually vicious and destructive, then the mode of ignorance is. And each of those modes is characterized by a certain type of personality. So if you read the whole purport, it's really interesting. But what it is, it's more like a map for what's happening today, because we know the mode of goodness is not prominent. It's a long purport, but anyway, take some time, you can read it on your own. That's why if you read Prabhupada's books and listen to his lectures, you know everything. You don't need to hear the news or make your own ideas. Everything, Prabhupada will tell you everything.
Especially the news lately. But thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. Fascinating.
Okay, Nina, I guess we can end here.
Yes, so let's offer our obeisances at Maharaja's feet. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu patitanam
Namo Namah.
pavanebhyo Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai,
Jai.
Candramauli Swami Maharaj ji ki
Jai.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Radhe Radhe.
Thank you so much.